We'll be getting started in about 10 minutes, everyone, on the workshop. Welcome everyone to today's workshop. Super excited we could turn on your cameras. Let's get the ball rolling. And today's training is going to be all about selling SaaS at a higher than average price point. That's what today's training is about. It's about selling SaaS at a higher than average price point, just so I can get a feel for the room. Now, this is going to be for you if you are a white label, go high level reseller. You either white label your SaaS or you can use it under Go High Level's name, but your goal here is to sell your own software. So at Progretta, at my company, Progretta is our white label name. We sell our software between $199, $399, and $749. And when I initiate a conversation with someone, if I'm having a conversation with someone, I'm selling them my SaaS at $749. I don't even bother telling them the other prices. I'm like, hey, the software is $749. Get in and join us. And then we give them access to onboarding so that way they can get onboarded onto the platform. And they many times pay $749. In the chat box, also please turn on your cameras if you're gonna interact on this training. But in the chat box, I want you to write down the price point that you're selling your SaaS at. How much are you selling your Go High Level SaaS? How much are you selling your SaaS at? So you got Steve Baker's at 397. Who else? Where else is everyone else at? Tim is at 297 a month. Maurice Covington is at 199 a month. You got Tom at 350. Eric at 297. Maurice is low end. What does low end mean? Josh Hook at 697. Ronaldo's at 220, 370, 650. Janie's at beta $97 only. Haji's at 297, 149. Chase is just starting out, doesn't have that pinned down yet. Gina is at 397 a month. 397 a month. Okay. So I want you to take your number and I want you to put what is the most you believe you could sell your software for? Steven's at 149. I want you to take your number and I want you to write down in the chat box, what is the most you believe you could sell your software for? Like just the software alone, not including services, not including like Facebook ads and all these other things. Just saying, hey, I'm gonna sell the software by itself. How much could you sell the software for? Put it in the chat box here. The most you could sell the software for. Janie is $497, $500 for Pauline. What's the most you can sell your software for? Tim is at $1,500. What else? What's the most amount of money you can sell just the software for? Gina says I'm pushing it at $397 for my niche, I think. And so all these numbers, all these rates, all these numbers, $497. Gerald's iPhone says $497. The biggest question that I ask a SaaSpreneur is like, where did you get your pricing from? Where are you getting your pricing from? Because there's like it's all in the same realm. It's like $497, $397, $297. Like who taught you that? And where did you get this information from? So I want to share with you a perspective inside of this workshop. This is going to be interactive. So it's going to be me and you. It's not you just listening to just me. Josh says blame high level. Blame high level, right? Everyone's looking at high levels pricing and they're like, okay, I just do whatever they're doing. 97, 297, and 497. I got it. I just do whatever they're doing, right? I want to share with you a concept, or like there's typically a strategic approach when you see these price points, right? You want to look at it. If you're at $0 to $50,000 in an MRR, so that means today you have $0 in monthly recurring revenue, or you have 10 or 20 or even 30,000 in monthly recurring revenue. There's typically a strategy, and I want to share with you what I mean by that. So I did a workshop, or not a workshop. I did a training with, not even a training, it was a podcast. So if you type in Andy Audate Go High Level on YouTube, there'll be some videos that'll show up. And there's one specifically that I did with Paulson, which is this one right here. Which is this one here. Put a yes in the chat box if you listen to this podcast here that I did with Paulson at any point. I did this 5 months ago. So put a yes in the chat box if you heard this podcast of us turning a $197 SaaS subscription into $20,000 with webinars. King Watt says yes. Ronaldo says yes. Can I drop the link? Yes, I can drop the link. I'll just give you the link here if you want to see it. Can I drop the link? Let me just respond to you. Let me put it here. Okay. So Amal says no. Ronaldo says yes. King Wawa, yes. So a group of you have seen it and a group of you haven't. So in this podcast, I explained how we did 100. We would go on a webinar and we would sell our SaaS at $197. And what I'm seeing as I ask SaaSpreneurs, I'm like, hey, where did you get your pricing from? And they'll say, well, I saw some other person sell it for $197. So that makes sense. Like, I'll just go sell it at $197 as well. But let's just do the math. Let's just do the math. What would be your monthly recurring revenue if you got 50 customers at $197? Let's just do the math. What would be, put the answer in the chat box. What would be your recurring revenue if you got 50 customers paying you $197 a month? Tim, you're far off, my friend. Not 50 people paying you $197. All right, Carlo, yes. You're right. Carlo, $9,850 in monthly recurring revenue. All right. So for those of you who've ever ran a business before, there's a cost to running a business. Yes, Chase, you're right. $9,850 gross, not accounting for software, texting costs, or just even the cost of running your business. So we know that if you use Stripe, you're going to take about 3% off the top, 3 to 5% off the top. So from that $9,850, you're going to take 3 to 5% off the top. Then out of that $9,850, you're going to have to pay for your high level. You're going to have to pay for other additional business costs like internet, phone, so on and so forth, advertising, and you might have a virtual assistant. So now those costs start increasing just to manage your 50 customers. So you have one or two ways in this day and age to take care, give support to your customers. You can do it yourself, and now you caught yourself in a job. You caught yourself in a job where you are now, you're running your own SaaS, but you're the one managing all the tech support. You're the one managing all your onboarding. Or you can have someone else do it for you and you could pay a fee, right? You can have someone else do it for you. So what we're going to see is if you have 50 customers paying $9,850, 50 customers in total, you're generating $9,850, you start dwindling that number down to zero. Because if we do the math, let's just do the math here together. $9,850, you're going to take away 3% off the top. So you're at $9,554. If you want to hire 2 virtual assistants on the low end, $5 times $160 per month for 2 people, you're gonna take away $1,600 for your virtual assistants. So now you're gonna have to pay for your virtual assistant. Now let's just say that you're gonna put down $2,000 towards marketing to get 50 customers. Putting $2,000 in marketing is realistic. So now you have $5,954. Minus the cost of your Go High Level SaaS, you're gonna have to pay Go High Level $500. Now you have $5,454 so far. What are some additional costs that you're gonna need to pay when you're running a business? Put it in the chat box so I can take it off here. What are some additional costs? Right now we have 2 virtual assistants. We have your Go High Level SaaS. What are some additional costs? I got marketing. That was $2,000. I got marketing. That was $2,000 for marketing. $100 for internet. QuickBooks is $50. Yeah, taxes for sure. Taxes, let's just round down, take away 35% for the taxes. You have $3,400. What else is there? Phone and text messages, yeah. Business license, memberships, BNI, chamber, those are some good, those are some good ones. So let's just put down for licenses, business license, taxes we already got. Business license and memberships, let's put down $400 for those: business license, BNI membership, Chamber of Commerce membership. Okay, what other fees do we have to run a business? Oh, the other softwares, yes, the other softwares that you use. So you might need to have a subscription to Zapier. You might have to have a subscription to Zapier. So you pay $100 for a subscription. You need a couple of emails, so you pay $50 for your emails. HL Pro Tools, $697. That's how much it is. So on the low end, you're at $2,200. All right, on the low end, you're at $2,200 that you're gonna take home. If you do the math, $2,200, and let's say you work 40 hours, $2,200, 40 hours per week, multiply that by 4 weeks, so that's 160 hours in total in a month. You're now making $13 an hour. You're now making $13 an hour. How much is Chick-fil-A hourly wage? How much is Chick-fil-A's hourly wage? $18 per hour. And then I was paying $18 an hour. In Las Vegas, you can get up to $24 an hour to work at Chick-fil-A in Las Vegas, where I'm at. So my question to you is, does it make sense to do all of that work to acquire 50 customers just to realize at the end of the month you're making less than a Chick-fil-A cashier? Nick, would you? Does that make sense to you, Nick? Would you say, hey, I'm a SaaSpreneur, I'm a software entrepreneur, I got recurring revenue coming in, and then when we actually boil down to the numbers, you're making less than a cashier at Chick-fil-A? Would you do that?
I think I'd realize I need to raise my prices.
And that's what I'm asking, and that's what this training is about, this workshop is about. It's to show you that you want to have a strategy for your prices. So if you came to Andy's workshop 2 years ago and you saw me selling my SaaS for $197, yes, I'll sell the SaaS for $197, but that's because on the back end, we had a $20,000 offer that was sold on the onboarding. And I have so many friends in the space today that are hosting their webinars, hosting events, hosting different trainings, that people are looking up at them and they're saying, well, their front end offer is $197 or $97 a month for their SaaS. Like, I should just duplicate theirs. But what happens on the back end, there's a $30,000 offer, $50,000 offer, $60,000 offer that's done on the back end. And if you don't have the back end offer to offset the cost of running your business, that's where the money's coming from, is the point that I'm making. Is that making sense, everyone? What are you understanding, everyone? You can unmute yourself. What are you understanding from what I'm sharing with you so far? You can unmute yourself. Yeah, you can unmute yourself.
I think, Andy, that we can't get sort of glossed over with the idea I'm making 50 grand a month, because you're not actually making 50 grand a month.
Ronaldo says, explain more on the back end offer. So let's say, for example, that in my marketing agency, let's say that I have a service in a marketing agency that we will set up your marketing, we will create your online course. That is actually a service that I used to do. We will create your online course for you. That means you would record your online course, and then my team will build it out inside of our white label version of High Level. Our team will build it out. Let's just say we charge $20,000 for that service, okay? And out of that $20,000, let's say it only cost me $5,000 to set it up and build it all out. So I'm making a profit of $15,000 every time that someone buys my $20,000 service. Put your hand to the webcam if you got that idea. If you got that. So if I'm selling my service, I'll create your online course for $20,000. Let's say that I go to everyone, I build a marketing campaign. I'm telling everyone, hey, I'm gonna do your course for you. It's 20 grand. People might not jump on that offer right away. What would they most likely jump on? I'll give you the software. So I might do a webinar that'll explain, like, I'll give you the software that you can build your online course. And that software itself is $197. So for example, one strategic approach would be, I go on a webinar, and for $197, for 197 bucks, you can get the software to host your own webinar. I could even sell it for $97. I can go on a webinar and say, hey, for $97, I'm going to give you the software that you can host your own course. You can build out your own course, and inside of this software, you can build out your own course, build out all the funnels, all the email sequences, all the automations, and you can pay $97 a month for the software. Put your hand to the webcam if that's clear, if you understand that. So I go on a webinar and I present that you could create your own course for 97 bucks. Once they purchase my SaaS for $97, then on the onboarding call, that's when I could say, hey, do you just want us to do it for you? I see that you're interested in creating an online course. Do you want to do it yourself, or do you want us to do it for you? So if they say, yes, I want you guys to do it for me, then we could charge them $20,000 for the service of doing the course. Does that make sense, Ronaldo? I don't even see where you're at in the Zoom room. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Yeah. So that's where the money's coming from, is on the back end offer. What I'm seeing over the last few years is that there are folks who are just seeing everyone else's front end offer, and they're saying, I'm going to duplicate that. He must be successful. He's selling it for 97 bucks. I'll sell mine at 97 bucks. But if you do the math and you get 100 subscribers, if you get 100 subscribers and you got 100 people paying you 97 bucks, you're only making $9,700. Think about 100 emails coming in a day asking for tech support. 100 messages coming in a day saying, hey, I need help on this. Or even if 100 people came on and said, hey, I need onboarding, I need to learn how to use the software, and I need onboarding. Could you afford to run your business at 97 bucks? The answer is probably no. The answer is probably no. So this training is about selling your SaaS at a higher than average price point, and why. Okay. So here's why you want to sell your SaaS at a higher than average price point. Number one is it builds trust and credibility with your audience and your customers. Okay. Let me ask you a question. What would be if someone came up to you and said, I have this amazing car. This is a 2024 Mercedes-Benz E350, and it's a brand new 2024 Mercedes-Benz E350, and I'm gonna sell it to you today for $5,000. What is the first thing that comes to your mind? I want you to write it in the chat box. What is the first thing that comes to your mind? Someone comes up to you and says, hey, I got a Mercedes-Benz E350. I'm gonna sell it to you for Jackson's funny. How do you expect that, Jackson? Everyone else I kind of expected, right? What's wrong with it? Ronaldo says, nope, thank you. Tom, yeah, what's wrong with it? Pauline, yes, there's something wrong with it. That's the first thing that I would think of. If someone came to me with such an amazing car and you're selling it to me at a lower than average price point. Now, if you said, hey, I got a 2024 Mercedes-Benz E350, and you said, hey, instead of $75,000, I'm going to give it to you for 70 grand. Now we're in negotiation, right? Now I can see the opportunity to buy this car and it makes sense. But so the point that I'm making here is by going lower doesn't actually mean more customers. If you believe in your product, Josh Hook says the customers willing to pay high ticket are usually the more laid back clients. The lower the sale, the more difficult the client. Not all cases, but more times than not. Very true. What I'm sharing with you is the lower the price does not necessarily mean that you're going to get more customers. So like I've heard people say, hey, I have an introductory price point at 97 bucks. I have an I'm just introducing at 97 bucks. That doesn't mean that you're going to get more customers because you lower the price. So it allows you, by having a higher than average price point, if you're priced at a higher than average price point, instead of someone saying what's wrong with it, let's say that you sell your software for 900 bucks a month, they're going to say, what's different from yours? Would you agree? If you are priced higher than average, other software is at $297, $197, and then you come out of nowhere and you're like $497, $597, $697, $800 bucks, like Ronaldo says. The question, instead of people saying what's wrong with it because it's lower, they're gonna say what's different with yours that you charge more. Which question would you want to answer? Question A, what's wrong with your software that you're priced so low? Or question B, what's different than with yours that you're priced so high? Put the answer in the chat box. Which question would you want to answer? Question A, what's wrong with yours that you're priced so low? Or question B, what's different with yours that because you're priced so high? Well, what makes yours so different? Ronaldo says B. Who else here? Nick D says, of course, B. Mitchell Alamar says B. King Wat says B. Steve Baker says B. That's the question that you want to answer is, what is different with yours that you're priced so high? So for example, at Progretta, at my agency, my SaaS agency, we sell our SaaS at $749. So like when I present and when I sell my SaaS, if I'm on a one-on-one call, I'm selling them at $749. I don't even bother any other rates that we have. Actually, it wasn't until like 3 months ago where we offered lower price points at $199 and $397 per month. So if you go to my white label website today, you can see our software at $199. It wasn't until 90 days ago where we started offering that. We started offering that because, and I'll share with you why I can go into the strategy behind that. But the whole point is we're so profitable today that to acquire a customer at $199 a month and to onboard them, it doesn't hurt our profit. So what I'm sharing with you is this is going to be for you if you're at the beginning stages. You have less than $20,000 a month in monthly recurring revenue. You have less than $30,000 in monthly recurring revenue. And you're like, hey, Andy, I just want to grow my software. I just want to grow my SaaS. I want to create monthly recurring revenue. My invitation is not to play the who can be the closest to zero. Don't play that game in the beginning. As your business grows, and let's say you get to $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 in monthly recurring revenue, then you can be strategic and lowering your price to acquire more customers because you can afford it, but in the beginning you don't. All right. Next thing is that it allows you to get marketing dollars, operating expenses, and profit. In the scenario that I gave you earlier, if I'm selling my software, even if I got 100 people on my SaaS paying $97 a month, even if you get 100 people paying $97 a month, your business is now making $9,700. To cater to manage, to support the billing of, and to support the technical support of 100 people, $9,700 is not enough. You're not going to have the money for enough tech people on your staff, enough technical support. You're not going to have enough money to do the marketing. You're not going to have enough money to run your business. So you're going to need money for marketing dollars, right? You're going to also need money for operating expenses, all the different elements to operate your business. Just for paying for Zoom, for example, right? Paying for Zoom, email marketing cost, text message cost, QuickBooks. That was a couple of names. Membership fees to other companies. You may be part of different masterminds and educational programs. So to pay for all of that, you need the money to be able to operate and pay for those products and pay for those services. Another thing is what happens when a mistake happens. So I'm going to give you a quick scenario for me. When A2P took place, this was before High Level created the A2P Trust Center. This was like right in the beginning of A2P. I forget the exact amount, but in our case, there was a fee that was charged to me every time that my customer put in their wrong EIN number. So with over a couple hundred SaaS customers, what happens is that we ended up paying thousands of dollars in A2P fees. And that in the beginning, today is currently you can rebill it to your customer, but in the beginning of A2P, that was not a possibility. You weren't rebilling A2P. So I remember waking up one day and I remember talking to somebody on my tech team and I said, hey, we got charged like a bunch of money from Twilio. Can you identify what that is? Is it like just a bunch of customers using text message? And then after doing some investigation, we found out that every time a customer put in their wrong EIN number for A2P or their wrong business name in A2P, that we got charged. I forget the exact amount. I forget the exact amount, but we got charged. My customer didn't get charged. So I looked into our account and we had to pay, Andy's company had to pay for all of this A2P fees. I could have been the company that went and calculated it and went to my customer up front and say, hey guys, we got charged because of your A2P submission. We're gonna charge you on the back end, but we never disclosed that in the beginning for our customers. So because of that, I took the hit. Now, the reason I was able to take the hit in that scenario was because I charged at a higher than average price point. So that means there was so much profit per SaaS customer. There was so much profit that even these mistakes that took place, I still, as a business owner, had the financial ability, the financial funds to be able to cover those A2P costs. Put the word yes in the chat box if that's making sense. Otherwise, or if you're like, hey, look, Andy, I don't know what the hell you're talking about, let me know as well. If it doesn't make sense, let me write the word no. But put the word yes in the chat box if you're like, okay, this is making sense. I understand what Andy's telling me. So I'm seeing more yeses than nos. So this allows you, by selling at a higher than average price point, it allows you to get the marketing dollars that you're going to need to market your business, to grow your business. Allows you to have the operating expenses taken care of. That's what OPEX is, operating expenses. Whether it be from business insurance, if your laptop goes down, like you need a laptop to run your business or a computer to run your business. So if your laptop or your computer goes down by accident, right? The QuickBooks to track it, to pay for Zoom, if you have a team, to pay for Slack, right? All those small additional fees to pay for high level. And you might say, hey, you know what? I need high levels priority support. That's $300. So if you add up all those fees, that's going to come out to thousands of dollars. So even if you got 100 customers paying you $97 and you hit your goal, 100 customers paying you $97, congratulations. Your SaaS now is making $9,700 before any fees. And then once you get down to the bottom of what your actual profit is, you're literally one mistake away from being in the red. So in that scenario that I had with A2P, if that happened to you, you would be in the red, and now you're paying your credit card, you're out of your credit card to pay for someone else's business. So I remember now in my journey, I remember I was on a coaching call with an individual, and she created an offer which was $67 a month for her SaaS. She got 100 people to pay her $67 a month. She got 100 people. Kudos to her, right? That's huge. She got 100 people to pay her $67 a month. What is the monthly recurring on that? That is $6,700 in monthly recurring revenue. She wasn't even, what she found out once we did the numbers, what she found out that she was using her personal credit card to pay the expenses of the business, just to make sure that she doesn't lose credibility with the 100 people that are paying her $67 a month. Don't put yourself in that mistake if you're at a lower than average price point. Next thing is you have enough money in the pot. Put the word affiliate in the chat box if you would like to have affiliates help you sell your SaaS. Put the word affiliate in the chat box if you would like to have affiliates help you sell your SaaS. Josh Hook is like affiliates all day. Chase, yes, affiliate. Steve Baker, affiliate. Maurice, affiliate. Amazing. So here's what I found with affiliates, because I used to be an affiliate for another SaaS company as well. Before I started in Go High Level and so on and so forth, and I started reselling my own SaaS, I used to be an affiliate for another SaaS company. And I remember when they would give me low price points, because this is a company that has over 100,000 SaaS subscribers. This is not a Go High Level SaaS, this is another company. And they would allow me to really create my own pricing. And there were some people who would sell their programs at $49 a month, $55 a month, sell the SaaS for like really low cost price point. And if you get 10%, let's just say you get 10% of a, let's say you're an affiliate. What would excite you more? Let's say you're getting 10%. A software that when you sell, you get $5 from, which is $50 a month, or 10% of a software that costs $749. So meaning you get $75 a month. What would excite you more? Of course, right, the higher. So what I mean by when I put money in the pot, what I mean by that is that there's enough money for you and there's enough money for affiliates to help you resell your SaaS. There's enough money for you, and there's enough money for your affiliates to help you resell your SaaS, where your affiliate is going to get excited. So, for example, at my SaaS at Progretta, we give our affiliates 30%. So 30% on our $749 plan is $224. So I tell my affiliates, I say, hey, you're going to get 30% when you sell our $749 plan, and you're going to get $224. So that means I want you for the next year to go get 20 people. Just find 20 people, and you'll be making almost $4,500 in affiliate commission, just by finding 20 business owners in the next year to use our software, and you get $4,500. And that's when they're like, "Are you serious? All I need is 20? Let's get the ball rolling." And then they start presenting the SaaS. Let's say that I went to my affiliate and I said, "Hey, the only option to buy our SaaS is $97. You get 30%. And if you get 20 people, you get $582. $582 compared to $4,500 to get the same amount of customers. Of course, an affiliate who has experience, an affiliate who's committed, they're going to go after the higher ticket offer with the higher. So you as a SaaSpreneur, you got to choose a price point that not only allows you to have a profit, but also a price point that allows you to have affiliates who can help you sell your SaaS, and it inspires them to go and actually sell your SaaS for you. Does that make sense, everyone? Okay. Next point, value over price. And what this point is meaning is that my invitation is that you sell the value of your software versus the price. So when I see a SaaSpreneur today who's selling their SaaS at $97, $197, many times it tells me that they're focusing on price. And what we know with price is that there's always someone who's willing to get closer to zero than you. And the game that you're playing now is who can get closer to $0. Who can get closer to free? There are people who are like, I'll just give it to you for free. So now, what game do you want to play? Do you want to play the game of, I can get closer? Josh is at 97, Steve's at 90, 95. Man, you know what? I'm going to sell at 92. I'm going to sell my SaaS at $92. I'm going to get closer to zero. Do you want to play that game? Or do you want to propose price? Do you want to propose price? So I'll give you a scenario for us. Today, we use HL Pro Tools. To learn more about HL Pro Tools, you can go to gosaaslaunch.com/HLPT. Where HTTPS. So if you want to learn more about HL Pro Tools. So today, HL Pro Tools handles our 24/7 hour technical support and our onboarding. And at that link there, you'll learn about how you can get onboarding and get 24-hour technical support. So I go to our customers, for example, and we sell our SaaS at $749. Over the last couple of years, I've seen a few dozen people who've come to us from another Go High Level SaaS. They were charging, let's say Go High Level, this Go High Level SaaS was paying, let's say they were paying $97 a month for the entire software. Where the customer would come to us at Progretta and say, hey, I would rather pay you guys $749. And I would ask them, like, why do you want to pay us $749? And their response would be, well, because that company couldn't offer the technical support that you guys have. Andy, you guys have 24-hour technical support, and you guys offer unlimited onboarding. I just needed to get in touch with somebody. So just for that difference of value of giving unlimited onboarding and 24-hour technical support, we have customers who used to pay $97 for their own Go High Level, or from another Go High Level SaaS, they were paying $97, and they came to us for $749 a month just because of our onboarding, unlimited onboarding, and 24/7 technical support. So if you're one of those SaaSpreneurs today who's gonna charge, let's say $97, and you get 100 SaaS customers, you're not gonna have the money to be able to pay for 24/7 technical support. You're not gonna be able to pay for the staffing. You're not gonna be able to even pay for the service to have someone else do it for you. So typically, what I see those SaaSpreneurs do, is that they'll do like unlimited email support where you can email in and I'll respond to your email during business hours. For the right customer who cares about their time, they'll be willing to pay $800 a month just to have someone on demand. So what are you focusing on? Are you focusing on the value or the price? In my scenario, in the scenario I just shared with you, value would be take your time free. You could have time freedom, take your time back. Instead of, you could have on-demand 24/7 chat support on demand rather than emailing like a generic inbox and waiting for someone to ultimately reach out. So value, choose value over price. Next point is the level of support. I essentially explained that, where the higher price you could go, of course, the more support you can give, right? The higher the price, the more support that you can give. Ronaldo says it great. I want a business, not a job. So if you leave this training here, unless you have a back end strategy, so the only scenario that I should see you sell your SaaS for $97 is if you have a back end high ticket strategy where you're doing a service on the back end, and that's where your profit's gonna come from. Or your SaaS is already profitable, and to acquire a customer, it's not gonna impact you to have a customer pay you $97. It doesn't take away from your profit. You already have staff, you already have the team, and your business already profitable. If you're not at those two, and let's say you're at 5,000 or 10,000 or less than $20,000 in monthly recurring revenue, you should not be selling it at $97, or even $197, because you are now, even with success, you just bought yourself a job. Innate differentiation. You know, you see the word on the PowerPoint. When a customer, I went to a buddy of mine, and this gentleman, he purchases like Rolls Royces. He purchases like Rolls Royces and things of that nature. And so he pays like six figures for cars. And I asked him, like, what is the, why do you choose? This was before I had a different relationship with money. So this was, I don't know, 6 years ago. And I would ask him, why do you choose to pay higher price for things? And I didn't understand it until I got into that bracket. When someone pays higher for something, innately, they will find a justification of why they're paying more for it. They will find a reason of why they're paying more for it. So for example, this gentleman, I asked him, I said, hey, you spent six figures on a Rolls Royce. I mean, not a Rolls Royce. You spent six figures on a Range Rover. You could have bought a Honda or a Toyota. Why do you pay more? And he told me, he said, Andy, when I get into the car, it goes swoosh. Like when he closes the door, it feels like he's encapsulated in the car. And then the next thing he told me is that the buttons that he pushes, when he pushes the buttons, instead of it's more of a click sound versus a finicky movement. And I'm like, okay, so that is worth an extra $100,000. Is that right? And he's like, yes. Because a Honda that's 30,000 versus a Range Rover that's 150,000, they both will get you from point A to point B. But by paying more, you will find the reason why you pay more. Just yesterday, my brother called me. Now, I'm not talking about software. I'm just talking about understanding justifying why people pay more. Yesterday, my brother called me and he says, Andy, so for example, I have a Mercedes-Benz. Costs about $1,000 a month for my current Mercedes-Benz. And he said, Andy, how could you pay that, $1,000 a month? You know where we come from, man? We're used to buying cars that year 1999 or early 2000s. Where I come from, you buy a car for like $5,000 or $10,000, right? One time. And my brother, I go to my brother, I'm like, hey, my car is $1,000 a month. My wife's car is another $1,000 a month, and plus insurance and so forth. So we're spending a few grand on cars because he was asking me about cars. And I told him, I said, do not buy a car unless you have monthly recurring revenue that takes care of the car. Because he asked me, Andy, will you ever be stressed out on the price of your car? I said, no. I said, because I have my software. If I want to buy a car, I just get two customers at $749 and they're paying for my car. Does that make sense, everyone? So I said to my brother, I said, I don't get stressed out when it comes out to buying a car. But I said, hey, the reason why I'll pay more than for a Honda compared to a Honda is because if my car ever breaks down, I just call Mercedes-Benz and they drive to me with a loaner car, and they'll take my current car and they'll go fix my current car and give me a loaner. that's worth the extra, however much I'm paying extra compared to like a Honda or Toyota. So I have this innate differentiation of compared to like a lower tier car, I'll pay more just because of that experience. Now, your customer, when you choose to sell your SaaS at a higher than average price point, your customer will find the difference. They will find the difference of why they're paying more for you. Okay. So to sell at a higher than average price point, you want to understand your value proposition. All right. To sell at a higher than average price point, you want to be able to understand your value proposition. You want to understand what's the difference between what you sell and what someone else will sell. So that way you know what to propose, what to propose. So for me, because I am a go high level SaaS agency, our customers could, of course, go to another go high level agency that's cheaper, or they can actually go to go high level direct. So we have a value proposition for every scenario. From nine times out of 10, it's going to be our support. The fact that our support is top tier, our tech support and our onboarding. You can go with us and get unlimited onboarding, as many calls. I don't care if you need 7 calls or 73 calls. For a SaaS agency that's charging $97 a month, it's going to be hard to compete. All right, it's going to be very hard to compete. Next thing is that you want to be able to offer multiple price tiers. I think someone asked me that earlier. You want to be able to offer multiple price tiers. So that way, if you sell at a higher than average price point, let's say you sell it at $697 a month, you'll be able to downsell to another price point. So for example, in Andy's case, we sell ours for $749, and then we have a middle tier plan at $399. So what I've done is, if I sell it to someone at $749 a month, and let's say after 6 months, they come to us and they're like, Andy, you know what, man? Like, I can't afford the $749 for whatever reason. That has happened before. I can't afford the $749. My business is not as successful as I thought it was. I can drop the customer down to a $399 a month plan and still have profit in the deal. Right? Does that make sense? However, if I started with the customer and I gave them the whole entire software at $97 a month, and then they come to us and they're like, hey, you know what? This is more expensive than I thought, or I can't afford it. How much closer could you go to zero with 97 bucks? Even if you give them half off, now you have 50 bucks a month. Now you're playing this game of getting closer to zero. Okay. So when you create your multiple tiers, your multiple pricing tiers, you want to focus on the value for the customer, not how close you can get down to zero. So by doing it this way, by selling at a higher than average price point, you are now focusing on value versus price. So it's a complete shift in mindset. So can someone else, we sell Progretta, which is a go high level SaaS. Can someone else go to another agency and get the same software, the tool itself, for a lower price point? The answer is yes. But could they get the same value? It's highly unlikely. Why? Because we give so much value. So my invitation is that you do the same thing, where your pricing is based on the value that you give. So that way, if your customer comes to you and they're paying a higher than average price point, they're paying $697, $749, $997, $1,500 a month just for the software. Yes, there are businesses that will pay $1,500 a month just for the software itself. If they're coming to you paying that fee, in order for them to go to somewhere else, they're gonna have to lose value. Okay, they're gonna have to lose value. So you want to present the value that your price point has versus just the features of the software. So for example, like, oh, hey, for our higher tier plan, you have websites and funnels. Focus on the value. Where, for example, on our higher tier plan, you're gonna have a system to generate leads and follow up with leads. On the lower tier plan, you may have a system just to generate leads, no follow up. All right. So I hope this training was valuable for you. Does anyone here have any questions? Put it in the chat box. I can answer your questions. And what are you taking away from this training so far? Actually, you know what? You can unmute yourself. I think you can. You should be able to unmute yourself. So if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, just feel free to unmute yourself and bring it up, and we'll address your questions.
I have a question.
Yes.
So what are some of the things that someone can do as a back end offer?
Who's asking? What's your name? Who's asking that?
This is Steven.
So Steven, the training that I'm giving you is not about the backend offer. Actually, I'm getting away from those backend offers, because typically those backend offers, if you know my story, I'll share with you real quick. I was at the Go High Level SaaSpreneur Mastermind like 3 years ago, and I was at the first ever one that they ever hosted. And at the event, Sean Clark is coaching me and telling me that the higher ticket stuff that you're doing, Andy, you want to get away from that and just focus on monthly recurring revenue. And I said, hold on, let's do the math. A scenario for a high ticket offer for Andy was $40,000, where you can come to our agency, we'll build out your campaigns, we'll build out your funnels. It's $40,000. Okay, it's $40,000. That's upfront. At the time, I think our SaaS was like $297, right? I was like most people, where I was just selling my SaaS at whatever price point that I saw other people sell it. So I was at $297. And I said, Sean, I don't think you understand the math, man. $40,000 service versus $297 a month. I'm not interested in that, man. And as he's trying to we're in the seat, he's literally breaking down the math. Like, if you just get enough subscribers, you can pass your current revenue. He's coaching me. And in the middle of his coaching, I get a phone call. Bing, 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 bing. My wife is calling me. Babe, this customer keeps calling me. I'm at the doctor's office right now. I'm just doing my physical checkup, and this customer keeps calling me. And then on the other line, the customer calls me. A customer who paid us 40 grand for our service. And I'm like, Sean, give me a moment. I know you're trying to pour into me. I know you're trying to coach me. Literally, a CEO who runs a $500 million business is coaching me. And I'm saying, I gotta go. I gotta go handle this call. So I take the call, I go into another room, conference room. I take the call. And this customer is like, hey, I want to talk to you, Andy. And I said, sir, you can call my office. I have employees there. The project manager that's managing a project is there. And he says, no, I paid you. I said, sir, you paid the company, not me. You paid the company. You can work with our team. He's like, no, I want to talk to you. So I took the call. And it was in that moment where I realized I don't want those type of clients. I don't even want those type of offers. I don't even want those type of deals where people can call me. So the thing is, on SaaS, when someone has a technical issue, they go to technical support. They don't call me. Do you call Sean Clark? I mean, yes, he'll respond in the Facebook group because he's like that. But do you call Sean and say, my A2P is not working? No, you go to technical support. That's the value of selling software. But the high ticket that have people emotionally invested in, then they'll do whatever they need to do, and they'll call you direct. So I get away from those type of services. I don't even teach or coach on those type of programs, those type of back-end services. So I don't do those personally myself. That was something that I did years ago, and that's why I sold at $197 a month. That was the reason why I sold it at $197 a month. But I wouldn't suggest doing that anymore. I would suggest focusing on creating enough recurring revenue, whatever your revenue goal is for your business. Like, to take care of your lifestyle, your business. Let's say it's $20,000 a month, right? Let's say it's $40,000 a month, $50,000, $60,000 a month. Create enough recurring revenue by getting enough subscribers to accomplish that. Does that? I hope I answered your question by what I shared, Stephen.
Yeah, yes, it does. Thank you so much.
Actually, I probably didn't, right? Because you asked me like, give me some back end strategies, some back end offers, and I'm like, don't do any of them.
You say not to do it, I guess is your answer, right?
Yeah, save yourself so much time, energy, and money, man. Don't fall into the mistakes that I used to do.
Okay, thank
you. King Wat. That's an interesting name.
Thank you, man. Quick question is, what advice would you give someone that's not starting out, but in the basic stage of having very few clients, and I was at the price point that you're talking about, the $297 to $497, and I don't have the results and I don't have the proof to go out there and raise my price point to say, $797 or something higher than what you're speaking of, a high price point.
What do you mean?
What would be my pitch?
Who told you that? Who told you that you can't charge that price? Who said that to you?
No one.
So
it's just what, like you said, it's what I see everybody else doing.
Man, that's the challenge that I'm seeing, right? That's the problem right there. Because how much you sold your SaaS today?
$297, $497.
The same energy that it would take you to get a $297 sale is the same energy that's going to take you to get an $897 sale. Same energy. You're gonna have to call the lead, follow up with the lead, text the lead, do a presentation, do a demo, do an onboarding. Same energy. Same energy.
Right.
But what would be more exciting to you? A $9.97 a month sale? Like if I were to start all over again, I know like some of the things that I'm saying is like Andy's coming across kind of ridiculous. Like what the heck is Andy saying, man? He's talking sell your SaaS for $9.97 a month. If you're currently at the beginning stages, but it also depends on your comfort level with finances and money, right? It also depends on how comfortable you are with money. So if you're leaving your job, for example, you've never done sales before, it may be hard for you to say that number, right? Because you personally don't believe in it. But if you can find yourself to be in a place of you believing, for example, Ronaldo earlier said HubSpot is at $800 a month. I remember I did a demonstration with Salesforce. This was before high level. They quoted me $50,000 a year to use Salesforce. 50 grand a year. And today, all the stuff that I wanted from Salesforce is exactly what high level does. 50,000, and my high level makes me money. Salesforce would have just been a cost. $50,000 a year. So it all depends on what your relationship with money is. Actually, I have a course that talks all about the relationship with money. We have a program called the Syndicate, Go SaaS Launch Syndicate. I'll be explaining that to you shortly here. I think what you're in it, right? You joined the syndicate?
Yeah, I'm in that. Yeah.
You're in the syndicate. So in the syndicate, we'll explain to you that we're having the relationship with money. Because if you can feel comfortable, like I don't want you to get to a place of like, my software is $9.97. And you're on a Zoom call with somebody like, what are they gonna say? You know? Versus like, hey, this software, to do something competitively with Salesforce or HubSpot, you're gonna be paying $4,000 to $5,000 a month. You can get it from me for $997 a month. Just by you getting 5 customers. You're still gonna have to do one-on-one onboarding because you're still in the beginning. You're still gonna have to give them technical support because you're still in the beginning, right? So you're still gonna have to give them your attention, but 5 customers at $1,000 a month, you're already making your $5,000. You're already making $5,000. So I would just say, look, man,
Right.
I know some of the business is like ridiculous, but dude, you can sell at a higher than average price point, man. You don't have to be at the 997 or 97 or 297. Okay. I do want to. I am gonna answer your question, Nick D and Ronaldo. If you have questions, click on reactions and click on that button that says raise hand. So at the bottom of your screen, it should say like share screen, and it'll be a green button that says share screen, and then there'll be a couple of things next to it, and there's reactions. Press the button that says raise hand, so that, and I'll come back and answer your question. But before I do, I just want to share with you about our new program called Go SaaS Launch Syndicate. So let me just share real quick about that. Some of you may already be inside of that program. We actually launched it on Friday, and a few dozen people already signed up for it. So what it is the first 200 people, I give you weekly coaching. It's $49 a month. And this is offered for the first 200. After the 200 people and we launch, it'll be $900. It'll be $1,000 a month for that coaching. So the first that you're gonna get in the syndicate, and I'll put the link if you want to be part of the first 200. I know there's already Latasha, there's a group of you that's already in. So Gianna's in, Latasha's in. If you're already in the syndicate, just let me know in the chat box if you're already in the syndicate. Go SaaSlaunch.com/coaching. It's $49 a month, Chase. $49 a month. So here's what you get if you join the syndicate. It starts on April 23rd. April 23rd. It's $49 a month, and it starts on April 23rd. The first thing that you're going to get by joining the syndicate, I'm going to give you some of our Sell SaaS snapshots, like our funnels, our email sequences, our automations, some of the basic automations that we have. You'll be getting those. Like when someone comes in and they opt in on our landing page of our SaaS website, all like the email sequences and the text message sequences and the follow-up sequences, you'll be getting those inside of as part of snapshots. And then we give you new snapshots every single month. That's all designed to help you sell SaaS, like to help you sell your SaaS in different scenarios. Like what happens when someone that you've been following up on doesn't respond anymore? You can put them through a 12-month automated sequence to get them back into your funnel here. So I'll give you all of those snapshots, and you get one new snapshot every single month. All right. Then with each snapshot itself, you're going to get a snapshot setup video of me or someone on my team that's going to be guiding you on how to set up the snapshot itself. The third thing is that you're going to be getting like webinar, PowerPoint slides, templates, different templates that I use. Not just, we have multiple different versions of different templates, of different PowerPoints. I've given away, most recently in the last 6 months, I've given away one of my templates, but I have dozens and dozens of different templates. I have one for free trial, $197 a month. When you get to the place that you're profitable and you can sell at $197 a month, we have $749 a month templates. So I'll be giving you those every single month, different versions of different templates every single month by being part of the syndicate. Also, you're going to get weekly group Q&A calls. The Q&A calls, it's kind of like this, where you come on once a week, every single week. You can have access to however many weeks that you want to join, as long as you're active in the syndicate. And you pay, that's included in your subscription. And you come in and you ask any questions. It could be about pricing. It could be about cancellation. I mean, you name it, we've gone through it, whether it's be canceling, someone comes up to you and says, hey, I want to cancel. What do you do in that scenario? Or hiring your first person, what do you do in that scenario? So anything that you could possibly do in the SaaS world, as far as go high level, white label SaaS, 9.5 out of 10 times, me and my team have already probably gone through it. So you can come in, ask us questions, and we'll answer your questions. Now, the reason I did this is because when I started, I used to go to YouTube all the time and listen to podcasts. And I was like, man, I was losing direction, because this one guy on YouTube would say this other guy at this mastermind would say this other guy on YouTube would say another thing. And then now, you know what? I just decided to create this program where you can have one true source to connect with other SaaSpreneurs and ask questions. Next thing that you're going to be getting is templates. You're going to be getting sales scripts, contracts, guides, and different templates. So what's on my screen here is actually our monthly recurring revenue calculator. This is one of dozens upon dozens of templates that we have. So this tool alone will allow you to calculate your profit for your SaaS. So just today, like I was explaining to you, what would happen if I sold my SaaS at $397 a month? In this template, you'll be able to see what your actual gross profit is going to be if you were to sell. So most people would say, hey, if I got 200 people paying me $397 and I got 200 people, I'm making $79,400. But once you actually go through the actual figures, you actually see where you're losing money, and your gross profit in this scenario is actually $56,000 if you have 200 customers. So where did that extra $20,000 go? We break it down in this tool. So this is one out of many different tools that's going to help you sell your SaaS. Also, as you know, or maybe you don't, I use webinars to sell SaaS. So instead of doing one-on-ones, I do one-on-many. And all of those calls are recorded. There's only one place that you're going to be able to get the webinar replay vault. So all of that will be inside of the syndicate, where every month a new replay will be unlocked, and you'll be able to see some of my past replays from like 2020 to today. You'll see the progression of how I sold my SaaS in 2020 compared to now. All right. So you'll getting all my replays as part of this syndicate. Also, you're going to get access to our open forum that we have, which is our private Slack group chat community. And what's really cool that we launched is going to be our white label sales presentations. So I record a video for you, and it's going to be me selling your SaaS. And instead of saying my white label name, which is Progretta, I would say this software. So I represent myself as Andy from your product team. And in today's presentation, I'm going to be giving you a demonstration. So literally, you take my 90-minute presentation and you just play it on Zoom, and I sell your SaaS for you. So your customers, let's say if you do webinars, follow my system and you do webinars, the way that that's going to work is, and I've done it. Let me show you. I've done it myself. But let's say that I was sick. Like I'm feeling a little bit under the weather, and that has happened to me before. I was sick on the day of a webinar. What I did was I took a replay of my webinar, the full 2-hour-long training, and from the beginning, I just clicked play, and I walked away from my computer and came back 2 hours later with SaaS sales. That's what I've done in the past. So I've kept that to myself for a while. Like that's kind of been the strategy. Like, hey, if I was ever sick, there's been times where I'm not available to do a live presentation for on a webinar, and I would just give that replay to my virtual assistant, and my virtual assistant will go into the Zoom room, and there'll be 70 to 80 people there, and they'll just play my recording, and then that will sell my SaaS. So it'll take them through the whole demonstration of how the software works and give them the opportunity to buy the SaaS. So I give you white label sales presentations and video sales letters that you could just take and literally just show it on Zoom and play for your customers. And then your customers will go through a whole demonstration of how the software works and what's possible. And I'll be on your team and I'll sell your SaaS for you. So far, if you join the syndicate, the first thing that you're going to get is the Sell SaaS snapshots, all the funnels, the emails, automations. You're also going to get the snapshot tutorial videos to set all of it up. There are so many people in the community who just give the snapshot, but like they don't tell you how it works or why it works. So you're going to be getting a video on how each snapshot works. You're also going to get different webinar PowerPoint slides templates of how to sell or how you can use it to sell your SaaS on different webinars. You can just use my PowerPoint, change my name to your name. And so that way you can sell your SaaS on webinars using my templates. I have dozens upon dozens of templates. Also, you're going to get the weekly group Q&A calls. So it'll be a Zoom call. It'll be me, you, and a group of other people just like you. You can get on those calls and ask questions, any comments, concerns, challenges that you're having. You can get on those weekly group Q&A calls. Next thing is going to be getting sales scripts, contracts, guides, and other templates that we find to be useful in our business. We're going to be essentially taking them out from our SaaS and then repurposing them to make it white label so that way you can use it inside of your business. Also, you're going to be getting the replay vault of all my past recordings. Every month, a new one's going to unlock, and you can watch my trainings of how I sell my SaaS on webinars. And you can start using that to help you sell your SaaS, and you can see different examples and different use cases of how I sold my SaaS on different webinars. You're also going to get the private Slack group chat, and then you're going to get white label sales presentations. So just take my presentation. I don't say my white label name. I don't say Progretta. I say, hey, my name is Andy from the product team, and I'm going to show you how the software can help you get more business. And let's go through a presentation. And I take them through a whole presentation, and I represent myself. So you're probably going to get, once you do this effectively, you're probably going to get people who come to you and say, oh, your person, Andy, was so nice on that webinar that I went to. He was so nice. But little do they know it's a recording, right? Now, the value of this, like for any other mastermind group, is $2,000 a month. Think about all the things that you're getting. You got the Sell SaaS snapshots, you get the snapshot setup, you get the webinar PowerPoint slides, you get weekly group Q&A calls, sales scripts, contracts, guides, templates, replay vaults. You get the private Slack community and the white label sales presentations and video sales letters. Of course, this is valued at $19.97. I'm going to ultimately sell this for $997 a month. That's going to make it competitive to any other mastermind that's out there. But what we're doing is I'm slashing it for the first 200 people that's part of this community, and we're giving it to you for $49 per month. Once we get to that point, then it's going to end up being back to the $997. So one of the questions that I got earlier is like, once you sign up today, does the price increase? The answer is no. So you'll be locked in at $49 a month. So if inside of our Stripe account, your initial subscription is $49 a month, and you're going to stay at the $49 per month, right? As long as you stay active. When the price changes, you're going to be grandfathered in at $49 a month. So we launched this on Friday. We launched this on Friday. We still have yet to do a marketing campaign for this. We have yet to do any marketing for this. This was just inside of our Slack community, plus a couple of posts that I did on Facebook, and a basic email sequence not even a sequence, one email that I sent to a small group of people. We're already nearing the first 100. We're already near the first 100, and we launched this on Friday. So I wanted to give you an opportunity, if you do want to be a part of it. This will launch on April 23rd. So that means that if you sign up today, if you go to gosaaslaunch.com/coaching, and you sign up today, it'll be $49 today. It'll be a $49 payment today. That means you won't get any content until April 23rd. Now, April 23rd is a month and a half away, and this is a $49 subscription. So that means you will pay $49 today and $49 next month, and you will still not get any content until April 23rd. So many of you are probably looking at me like, okay, how does that make sense? Well, I'm going to be selling it for $997. So even if you paid $49 today and you pay $49 next month, that's $100. That's still less than the $997. So if you're someone who's like, hey, Andy, just reach out to me when I'll buy when it's launched. When it's launched, it's going to be a completely different price point. So we're already at near the initial 100. So for the first 200, you can get in at $49. So far, just in this Zoom room, Tanya, you signed up. King Wat, you signed up. Janie, I'm your Huckleberry. I don't know what that means, and I don't know if my wife would like that. I don't know what that means, Janie. Is that like a farmer term? Huckleberry? I'm thinking I'm thinking of a what do you call it? A term that's like a farm, Chase, $49 a month. It's just $49 a month, Chase. I don't know about for life, but it's just $49 a month. Then the price is gonna go up. I'm already letting you know that the price is gonna go up. So it's not $49 a month for life. If you sign up, you'll stay at the $49 price point. Francisco already in. King Wawat's already in there. Chase, $49. Latasha, you're already in. Gianna, already in the syndicate. Okay. So to sign up for the syndicate, Chase just joined. Congratulations, man. So to sign up for the syndicate, go to gosaaslaunch.com/coaching. You don't have to watch that. There's a video there. You don't have to watch that video because that video essentially explains what I just told you. So you don't have to watch that. It's literally just the same presentation that I just showed you. So go to gosaaslaunch.com/coaching. All right, let's go back and continue answering questions. Let's go with Nick D.
Yes, sir. First of all, thanks for doing all this, Andy. We appreciate you so much, man.
Appreciate
Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, cool. So my question is this, and this has to do with the pricing again. There's so much other stuff that high level is not, as far as like reselling stuff. There's the credit system, the fees and all that kind of stuff. Can you just touch on your philosophy around that? And I mean, there's not just the credits, but there's also all this stuff now you can resell, like, WordPress and all the other upsells, I'm talking about. And then also like startup charges. Do you have a philosophy or a thought on, do I charge somebody like an onboarding fee their first month and then it's, $749 a month or, all that type of stuff?
I mean, like, there's so many different price points that you could, like, so many pricing strategies that you could do, right? You could charge a setup fee. You could charge a trial. You could give a trial. So I'll tell you what I've done. I'll go into more depth, by the way, for those of you in the syndicate. I can't wait to launch this in April. In the syndicate, because I already have that on the curriculum where I'll be explaining the price, the charges. However, the short, straight to the point answer, we charge 7.5x on rebilling. So that means if they pay, I pay 0.079 per text message, we charge 0.59 per text message, or 5.9 cents per text message. And we make a ton of profit on the text message usage. So I would say it depends, man. You don't want to go under, you don't want to do, actually, let's open up the calculator. Let's open up the calculator. Hold on a second. I'll show you. So one of the tools that everyone that I'm getting alerts on all the signups. So Steve, just refresh the page. Refresh the page, Steve. So one of the tools that you're going to be getting for those of you who join the syndicate when we launch, you won't have it now. We're currently in the stages of developing it all for you. But this is one of the tools that you're going to be getting, which is this calculator. So if I were to charge, I think the way that it works is 1.1x. That's what it gives you. 1.1 or 1.05, something like that. It's a very low number. What some don't understand is that, let's say your customer uses an average SMS segment of 1,000 text messages. And Stripe, you might have Stripe fees plus Radar Stripe fees. So Stripe in general might be around 4.5%. Plus you got to pay the Stripe transaction fee. Your cost to high level is 0.0079 per text message, less than a penny. In this scenario, you're reselling it to your customer at 0.0087. So your cost is $7.90, but then your customer pays you $8.69. But then you got to pay Stripe fees. So your profit on that is actually negative. We just acquired an agency, Nick, that they were trying to figure out like where are they losing money and so on and so forth. One of the places that they were losing money is that they never changed their rebilling rate. It was whatever was default. They never changed the rebilling rate. So every text message that was sent, he was actually paying for the customer to send out those text messages. So at my agency, we charge 7.5x. So in that same thousand segments, my customer pays $59, but my profit is $47 in that same 1,000 segments. So you could use this if you end up joining the syndicate, you could use this to then choose a multiple that makes sense for you. Whether it's 2x, you'll be able to see a profit right here. Whether it's 1.5x or 3x or 4x, you'll be able to choose a number. But all of it is hearsay. Like you can choose whatever number that makes sense for you and your customer. But I charge 7.5x. Historically, before 7.5x, we charge 5.3x. And then I've seen other agencies that they charge 2x and then take a little bit of a profit.
So I know you do the higher percentage on that one, and then do you give them some credits back every month as kind of to offset that, right? So they feel as though that they've got a certain amount that they can use every month.
Yes. Depending on the plan, yes, we give them different credits.
Gotcha.
Was
And then
that your question? Is like, do we give a credit or is it just?
Yeah, like because you're charging 7.5x multiple, right?
Yeah.
And so you're making more per message, but and the client doesn't feel as though they're having to pay that much more because they're getting monthly credits every month. So
Correct.
it's more like it's closer to like unlimited to them, right? Because if they go crazy, then they could go over, whatever the 749 a month if they're doing heavy sends every month. But most of the time you're making the spread on that.
Yeah, it depends on how much usage they have. Most people never go over, but even if they do go over, and that's one of the value propositions that we have why someone will pay the 749, right? So we can give them much more of a credit. We can give them much more of a credit and say, hey, you're actually not paying for the software. I think when I met you, I shared with you one of the things that we've done where we can give 100% of the subscription as a credit. So that way the person feels like they're not paying, but really we're charging 7.5x. So that way, we're getting a profit of, I don't need to go into the math because the math is going to end up confusing me, but there's profit in the deal, right? Even if I give 100% of $399.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Gotcha. Thanks,
So
man.
did I answer your question? I think you're did I answer your question?
Yeah, I just wanted to hear more about like because you kind of have a different philosophy than most people that I've talked to around this, right? So most people I talk to are like, oh, I want to just make it a pure pass through cost. I'm gonna do 1.1x, and you were the first person I heard that was like, no, I'm gonna jack that puppy way up, and uh, and yet the customer doesn't feel like they're getting nickel and dimed because with the credits, right? So you kind of had to just you flip the script, if you will. And so I just wanted to hear more about your philosophy on all that.
Yeah, look, if you did 1.1x in this scenario and your customer sent 25,000 segments, you would be paying $12.55 for 25,000 segments, SMS segments. And one SMS segment could be one text message could be 4 SMS segments, depending on how big the text message is. Right? That's not including A2P fees and all the other fees that's only for text message. That doesn't include the phone number cost and so on and so forth. So I think our cost for a phone number is like $9 in our system. Right? So it gets deducted from that credit. Same thing for emails and same thing for A2P fees and SMS carrier fees. So all of that have different fees that we bring it up to a place where we're comfortable with, but it also gives us enough profit that if anything were to happen, we can service that customer.
Do you get people feeling like they're nickel and dimed. Like I've had that, people say that to me in the last couple of weeks, especially when, hey, you're a brand new customer, great, let's set up your A2P. That's $20. And then you need to, seed your account with some credits. That's, throw another 20, $50 on there. So it wasn't just the charge for the SaaS, but now they got these other charges and they're like, oh, I didn't know it's gonna be all this other stuff. So I'm thinking maybe I'll just do an onboarding fee to cover all of that so they feel good. They don't feel like they're getting nickel and dimed. I don't know if you have experienced anything like that.
I haven't experienced that people get nickel and dimed. I've experienced that. I've experienced that before when I had a lower price, lower billing rate, probably because there's so much money in credit. Like one of our plans has $150 in credit. There's so much money in credit that once to get their phone number set up, A2P registered, and all those fees that take place, it comes out of the credit. So they never get charged for it anyway in the beginning. If I came in and you were at 1.1x and you gave me a $5 credit, then yeah, my card would be dinged for $8 for here, for this, $20 for this A2P thing, and I would be annoyed. So, and that's going to be for someone who charges at a lower. That's another point. Thank you for bringing that up. That's another point of why someone wants to charge higher, because your customer is saying from the front, like, okay, I'm paying you $5.99 for the software, right? Or $600 flat for the software, and you give enough credit as part of the $600, I'm not going to get charged all these little micro fees. But if you're charging someone $97 a month for the software, and then they log in, then they get charged $20 for the A2P, this much for the text phone number, because you can't afford to give the credit that you really want to give to the customer, because you only charge $97. So now your customer is getting charged all these little tiny fees, and it's like, damn, like this is annoying. Like you just charge. Now I'm being nickel and dime.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's another reason you want to sell at a higher than average price point. Great question, Nick. Ronaldo.
Hey, which are your experience? If I decide to onboard and do the whole setup on the beginning, how many clients each assistant or each person can handle with your experience?
I don't understand the question. How many assistants?
How many people like I can pretty much doing the onboard and doing everything, the setup. Each person can get how many group of people? Like you probably know like this number, right? Like 10 people, 10, 20 clients. I know like on the beginning, they're gonna have all that trouble with building everything and helping with the training and everything else. But down the road, they don't gonna need that much assistant anymore. So you think like 20 people for each assistance or 20 people for each group of person overview, like the group of people?
So it would depend a lot on your customers, Ronaldo. It's not going to be all the same for every agency. So it depends on your customers. So
if you're doing like just a plain software, like just a number of what, just to explain the plain software.
It still would depend on your customers, because when we migrate customers from Kajabi or ClickFunnels, one call is all they need, because they have a gist already. So
Okay.
But we've created new sales with customers who are not on any of those platforms, and they need like 8 calls.
Gotcha.
So I would ask you, who's your customer, right? So if I'm talking to coaches and entrepreneurs, those people don't need as many calls. But if I sign up a local business who's a plumber,
got it.
They need more calls. So it would depend on your customer itself.
Okay, thank you.
All right, I hope that answered your question. Let's go with Insani.
Okay, hello everyone. This is Keisani, and Andy, it's an honor. Thank you for this, man. You're one of the best I've heard on this Go high level SaaS environment, so I really appreciate this. Yeah, I'm speaking from Brazil, and I'm Mozambican. So my question, though, I truly have 3 questions. First question is, when you offer your SaaS for $249, I see that you shut down your
I'm sorry.
So my Oh,
Hold on a second.
really?
Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Let me mute whoever he says. Thank you, Marcar. All right. So, what was your question?
Yeah, you drop your agency there. So how do you do you have videos to train your clients how to use the software? Because let's say I sign up them on my software, and then if I'm not the one installing everything for them, and then how do they know, how will they learn to use the software? Second, when you do your webinars, do you offer like a free trial, or it's like paid upfront on the webinar? So
The
yeah,
webinar.
and third,
You got a lot of questions. All right. So the second question on the webinar, I've done it all. I've done pay. I've done trials. I'm gonna go with pay. Just have them pay upfront. Don't do the trial on the webinars. Do the trials on. You can do a trial on your website, but you don't want to do trials until you're profitable. Until you can get a customer and lose a customer, and it doesn't affect your income. It doesn't affect your bottom line.
okay.
So, for example, if your business was, let's say that, I'll give you our numbers. So, like my SaaS will do 60 grand in a month. Out of that $60,000 that comes in that month, 35,000 will be how much it costs for me to maintain my SaaS, right? So with all the different partners that we have, and tech support, and onboarding specialists, customer success managers, so on and so forth. So in that scenario, I'll take home 25,000 bucks. If I give a customer a trial, it doesn't matter it doesn't cost me anything to give someone a trial. For me to give that customer unlimited onboarding, 24/7 tech support, it doesn't cost me anything extra. It's already part of my cost. But in the beginning, you probably don't have unlimited onboarding. You probably don't have unlimited tech support. So you don't want to spend the money to give someone onboarding and tech support and that be a cost, because it's going to cost you money to do that, especially if you have 2 customers, 3 customers. So once you become profitable, that's when you can start giving away free trials. Before that, don't give away free trials.
I love that. Awesome.
That's why
Okay.
you gotta be very careful of who you see and what you look at. And are you in the syndicate? Did you sign up for the syndicate?
I'm just going to do this right after. I need a different card since I said I'm not in USA. So
In the syndicate, this is gonna be for you if you're starting, right? And the idea here is you want to create enough income, not even just revenue, enough profit before you start giving away trials. So it's not until you're profitable that you can start giving away trials, because it won't cost you anything, or it costs you little to give away trials. But in the beginning, it's going to cost you a lot to give away trials, because you don't have the infrastructure to be able to pay for it. All right.
that's good. And for the first question,
First question.
how do you teach your customers to use the software, for example?
So we have a couple of different levels of support. Number one is that we have pre-recorded onboarding videos. So as soon as they sign up, they get a web page. They essentially get access to a course. That's number one. Number two is we give them unlimited onboarding. So as many calls as they need, whether it's 7 or 73, we give them unlimited calls. Number three is that we host monthly workshops for them, where we give them different use cases on how they could use the software.
All right.
All right.
Fantastic. Thank you. Thank you so much, Nathan.
Let's go with Destiny. Destiny, can you turn on your camera?
Hey, Andy, I'm sorry, I'm driving right now, so it might be a little loud in my background.
No worries, I can hear you.
But can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, great. Okay, so my question is more so like the offer, because my niche is the trucking and logistics industry. And I'm struggling, I think, raising my monthly price, because of like I'm not sure what my actual offer is. Like, I know High Level has so much, and that's kind of what I've been going off of, like telling other people in my industry, like how they can kind of automate and streamline their processes. But I'm trying to, like, I want to focus on one area that's going to get like a lot of people interested, but also make me sell more confidently and be able to confidently raise my prices.
What is the problem that you're solving?
Just like being a little more hands off of the operations, like being able to implement systems and strategies into a trucking and logistics company versus doing everything by themselves, and then also utilizing so many different systems and by getting into this one system.
Let me ask you the question again. What is the one solution that you're solving for your customer? One problem that you're solving. The solution that you're giving.
The one problem I'm solving is just systems, I guess. Minimizing the amount of systems that they're using.
So the challenge that you're gonna have is really communicating that, right? That's when you gotta in order to communicate it effectively, it sounds like you're probably gonna end up doing a one-on-one sales presentation or something of that nature, and identifying what one person needs and then communicating to that one person of how you're gonna solve their problem based on what they have. What I teach is how to sell one-to-many, number one, on webinars.
Right.
Which by doing it that way, what's gonna need to be understood is what is everyone's common problem, or what is the common problem that the group is having. So if you put 100, what is it, truckers? You put 100
yeah, like trucking companies or people that teach like other people how to do certain things in the industry.
If you put 100 trucking companies into a Zoom room, if you're just like, hey, I'm gonna help you with your systems, no one knows what that means. Right? No one is clear on that, what that means. So we need to have a clear value proposition and a clear problem that you're solving.
Okay.
That's what we need to have understood. What is a clear problem that you're going to solve for them? And it has to be a problem that they have. That's what's going to create success. So here's an example. I can go to, let's say, a speaker, like a speaker or a coach, right? That's really the world that I come from, that I'm in. So I understand a lot of their problems. One of the problems that a speaker has is when they're on stage, like a coach or a consultant or a speaker, when those individuals are on stage, the challenge that they have is that they're talking to an audience that they cannot follow up on. So a speaker's on stage, they're talking to an audience and they can't follow up on. So I tell my audience, my coach, I say, hey, if you use our software Progretta, you could do what we call chat automation. And chat automation is where you have someone text you a specific keyword to your phone number, and our software will automatically respond back and capture their name, email, and phone number. At the end of your presentation, you'll have a list of all the name, email, phone number of everyone you just spoke to. So that way you can follow up on them to sell them your course or your product. So I speak to one problem that they have, and my whole webinar is essentially around this one problem. And I give them different cases for different businesses. So it doesn't have to be a speaker. It could be a life insurance agent on Instagram, where you give away like an ebook, and your customer who's interested in doing business with you, they put in their name, email, and phone number inside of your chat automation. They get your ebook automatically, and they can book a call with you. So by using our software, Progretta, you can use it to generate leads and book sales appointments on your calendar. That's my whole entire pitch on a webinar. Use our software to generate leads and book automatic sales appointments, where you wake up on Monday morning and you have 9 booked sales appointments on your calendar. Tuesday, you got another 5 booked appointments. Wednesday, you have another 3 booked appointments. And all of it was done automatically. And I would say, put your hand here if you want booked appointments on your calendar. And everyone will say, yes, I want booked appointments. And then we just say, hey, the software is $749.
This is okay. Perfect. You just helped me. Yeah, now I know what I need to focus on. Thank you.
All right. Any other questions that I can answer? if you have a question, just or put your hand up.
Yes, and I would like to use PayPal because, as I said, I'm not in the USA. So, is there a way I can pay using PayPal?
Yeah, email support@audate.com. Email that email. That'll set you up. What is the anticipated date that the resources will be available inside the program? April. Are you talking about the syndicate, Adrian? Yeah, April 23rd. So that means if you sign up today, you will pay twice before receiving any content. You will pay that today, which will be March 12th. You pay $49, and then you pay another $49 on April 12th before you receive any content. But all the content will be released on April 23rd. Not all the content. The first month's content will be released April 23rd, and then you'll get the invite to do the weekly Q&A calls. Is the HLPT offer? Yes, Nick. The HLPT offer is completely different than. I'm just an affiliate for High Level Pro Tools. Let's go with Latasha Mitchell.
Hi, Andy. Yeah, I was just wondering, like, I've been a market strategist for years to all different companies. What's your opinion on niching down? Right now, we have clients in so many different niches, and I'm just wondering what the best path is here.
Did you join the syndicate?
I did, yeah, a couple days ago.
All right. There's gonna be a video that's gonna be specific to that I want you to watch. It's like an hour long, and that one is vertical niching versus feature niching.
Okay.
So for now, the basic answer that I can give you before you get access to that video is gonna be you can niche down on a vertical that's like a specific industry, or you can niche down on a feature. You want to identify one of those niches. So yes, you want to niche down, but do you want to do vertical? Where, like, for example, actually, I'll pull up the PowerPoint real quick and kind of give you a sneak peek of some of the content that's going to be in the syndicate. So I explained more in the video itself, but there's two ways to niche down your SaaS. You can go vertical or feature, and I explained more in the actual syndicate program. So you'll get the full-on understanding, different use cases, different examples. But you can say, hey, like I'm a niche for hair salons, or I'm a niche for pet care, or my SaaS is for restaurants.
Mm-hmm.
Or on the other side, buy a product in the app, like what Calendly is. Calendly, who's Calendly's niche? No one, right?
Everybody, yeah.
Everyone. But what happens is that they niche down by the feature. So they did the calendar feature. So you can choose one of the two, whether it's a vertical niche or a feature niche.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, niche down.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
I know that was like kind of like, overview versus in detail, but when you get access to the syndicate, it's gonna make a lot more sense. What's your current niche now?
No, it's good. Thank you. Sorry?
What's your current niche now?
My current niche right now, honestly, we have med spas, and then we have coaches and consultants. So we've been coaches and consultants for a very long time, but now we're starting to get more brick and mortar, and we're actually having a lot of fun with them. Like they're really good to work with. So I'm like, that's why I'm like, should I niche completely into something that I'm not, well, not that we're not into it, but we're working more with brick and mortar and we're starting to really love it. They're less headaches, less pain, and the results are phenomenal. We have a cleaning company that just came on. So I'm like more recognized as a marketing strategist. So that's why I'm having clients in different fields. But everybody's like, you should be niche down. I'm like, well, we're getting lots of clients in all different avenues, but I do recognize that it is harder to systemize things when you have so many different niches. So
What would be cool to see that you could do, I don't know much of your business, so I'll learn more on the Q&A calls as we go through the syndicate, so I can learn more about you. This is my first time us connecting, I believe. But what would be cool to see, like, is if you have a system for the med spas, a system for the cleaning companies, that you could systematize the offering for the med spa, systematize the offering for the cleaning companies, and they all can get your SaaS, and it's all done through a snapshot. and the onboarding journey majority of it could be automated. We can discuss more if that's in alignment with what you're looking to create.
No, yeah, it absolutely is. Because I mean, like, lots of them need reactivation campaigns. So I'm not like, why can I work with both? But I get it. So thank you. I'll learn more as we go.
Awesome. Thank you, Latasha. Pleasure to have you.
Awesome. Thank you.
Any other questions before I let you all go? What is the syndicate? The syndicate is a program that we launched last week on Friday. It's now, Haji, you're in the intensive program, so you probably weren't on the town hall call an hour ago. So, but the syndicate is the basic version of our intensive program. You're already in the intensive program. And inside of the syndicate, you're going to get the Sell SaaS snapshots, some of our basic funnels, basic automations. You're going to get the snapshot setup tutorial videos, SaaS webinar, PowerPoint slides, templates, weekly group Q&A calls. You have questions or comments or concerns, you bring them on the group calls. You're going to have sales scripts, contracts, guides, Andy's webinar replay vault, a private Slack group chat, and you're going to get our white label sales presentations where you can take our sales presentation. I will be a salesperson on your team, and I say, hey, my name is Andy from the product team, and you take that video and you play it on Zoom, and I'll essentially be selling your SaaS for you. The value of that is $19.97 per month to get all of this. I mean, this is compared to like other masterminds and other programs. This is very competitive at the $1,000 to $2,000 price point. So there are some programs that are like this that are at $2,500 per month. So to get all of this, the snapshots, the tutorial videos, the training, the weekly group calls, the SaaS webinar PowerPoint slides templates, sales scripts, Andy's webinar replay vault, the private Slack, many of those platforms or other coaches would sell that for like between $997 to $2,500. That's pretty standard in the coaching world. I'm slashing that for the first 200 people and giving it to you for $49 per month. And then after that, then the price goes up to $997. So we're at near 100. Last I checked, I don't know where we're at today, right? As of right now, this launched on Friday night. So really Saturday morning. So between Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, we're at just about 100 people the last time I checked. And for the first 200 people, it's $49. After that, it'll be $997 to get all of this. So it's $49 and the price is locked in. So you're locked in at $49. So the price is, you're locked in at $49, no price increases. So once we hit the 200, then the price increases to the $997 per month. The people who get it at $49 will stay at $49. Okay, to get all of the coaching, weekly calls, sales, the snapshots, the setup tutorials, the sales scripts, the replay vault, private Slack group chat, white label sales presentations, white label video sales letters, and so forth. So to get that, go to gosaaslaunch.com/coaching, gosaaslaunch.com/coaching if you want to join the syndicate. What about content creation to drive people to our webinars organically? Will you also be sharing that in the syndicate? Plus, what type of content should I be posting to get attention from prospects? I love that. Kenzani, you're gonna love the syndicate, man. You're gonna have a lot of questions for the syndicate. I love it. So the content creation to drive people to your webinars organically, there's so many different things that you can do. What I would suggest is watching my 3-day training that I did with Paulson. That breaks down, I think I shared 3 different strategies for you and that's completely free. So if you go to gosaaslaunch.com/workshop replay, you'll be able to watch that. On day 2 or 3, I explain like 3 different strategies for you to drive traffic organically without having to pay for ads, okay? So I'll give you the link inside of here. That's gosaaslaunch.com/workshop replay. So I forget if it's day 2 or day 3. It might be day 2. So if you go to day 2, I break down how you can drive traffic organically, 3 different strategies. One of them is the buddy pass, where when someone registers, they can essentially bring a friend, and that's how I got 6,000 people to my webinars last year without running ads. Another one is joint venture on other people's email list, and of course social media. And I break down how you do it on social media on that. It's like an hour and a half long. Okay. Any other questions before I let you all go? I want to make sure that everyone got the highest level of value. That's what my goal is on all of these calls, is to give you the highest level of value inside of your SaaS launch journey. Thank you so much, Peter. Thank you. All right, team, if you have any questions whatsoever, feel free to reach us out at support@andyaudate.com. Support@andyaudate.com. Once again, that's support@andyaudate.com. Chase, congratulations on joining the syndicate. I can't wait for it to start as well, my friend. If you have any questions, feel free to reach us out at support@andyaudate.com, and I'll see you on the inside. Bye for now, everyone. Bye for now.